Hello, guys. This is yet another Tuesday that we begin our live interaction today. I will wait for about 5 minutes or 3 minutes so that more people can join in. So, in the meantime, we can reflect. We can begin to reflect on how society and its pressures has been real with us and how it has affected our mental health, because that's the topic of our discussion today. My name is Grace. I'm a psychologist with Nzumari, Africa. We are based in Huruma. We offer free psychological counseling. You can interact with us in our social media handles: Nzumari Africa on Instagram, Nzumari Africa on Twitter, Nzumari Africa on Facebook. So if you need help, just reach out. So yeah, welcome to this live interaction. Once again, it's a new week, new goals, new dreams. Yeah, let us wait for some people to join in as we continue for the next 2 minutes. Thank you. I can see people are joining. One more minute and then we start. So yeah, the 1 minute is over. So welcome everyone to our live discussion today. The topic is on societal pressures and how they affect our mental health. And as we begin, I want to remind us that we are in the Mental Health Awareness Month. The month of May is the Mental Health Awareness Month, and so the theme of this month is tools to thrive. And so what tools have you been using to improve your mental health, to improve resilience regardless of the situations that we go through? So Mine is to encourage us to continue developing new tools, unlearning the negative ones, and regularly applying our tools to thrive, whether or not we are facing adversity, just to improve our mental health and to build resilience. So thank you so much. I don't know how are people doing today. Myself, I'm doing well. Today was a bit sunny and cold, but the weather has been good enough. I am grateful for the day. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling like I can conquer the world. Feel free to comment on how you're feeling today. What obstacle have you been able to get through? What goals have you achieved this since the last week we met? For me, I can say I have finished a project that I was working on. That has taken too long. Finally, I finished it, and so yeah, it's good to take note of your achievements. It's good to be your own hero. And so let's go straight to our topic for today. Societal pressures. Pressures of society. How society pressures. We are living in a world and we are not alone. We are 2 billion people in the earth, 7 billion, yes. And we are governed by units, cultures, and we have society, we have culture. And not everybody lives like we do. Not everybody looks like we do. Not everybody comes from race, the same race like we do, same religion. In short, we are all different. We are all different. Our personalities are different. How we do things is different. And so it can come a time in life where we feel a bit pressured. Tunafeel kama tuko pressured. Especially with the people around us as we grow older. Kuna hizi like standard achievements, like someone should be having like a job, marriage, etc. So these pressures are real. To begin, we can begin with asking the question, how many times in your life umewahi feel uko dissatisfied, hautosheki? You're not hautosheki na how you look, hautosheki with what you have achieved, hautosheki with where you come from, wishing that you can be someone else. It has happened to most of us. Even for me, I may wish to have a bigger body than I do now. I may wish to have a lot of money, to have a lot of networks. And so it is very common for someone to feel, or for us to feel, like we are not satisfied, hatutosheki na what we have in life and what we have achieved. Like, I can give an example. Sipendi kuachilia nywele sana. I don't like my hair kuachilia sana. I mostly coil it. I just naifunga, yeah, like that. So because I love it. It's good. I love that about me with my hair. But you find most of the time people will just stop me kwa barabara. Nasunikatie. I wish I had hair like yours. Like ningekuwa nayo. Ningeiachilia throughout. Ningekuwa nayo. People will say singewahi shuka, singewahi what sijui nini. Ningekuwa nayo exact etc. And the reality is people with long hair also have their own struggles. Sometimes inashikana haraka, especially when you sweat, alafu it becomes afro, and sometimes inashika uchafu haraka, and so you may want to be like I am with long hair, but you have no idea. You have no idea what it means to have the long hair. So unakuwa na pressure ya kuenda kutafuta oils to increase the length or the width, na vitu zingine ni jeans tu. Nilijipata tu nayo. There's nothing I did. So Jolie, I can see you're glad to be here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for those who are joining us. I can see people are joining in. So back to my question. How many times have you felt like you're not satisfied with where you are in life? How many times have you felt like you're not satisfied with how you look? Like you're wishing to be someone else, and yet you're forgetting who you really are. These pressures, the society, they can be so real, especially in this age that we are living in right now with social media. If you really look at people's life, like, okay, let me just put an example. Unapigangwa picha and inafanywa filters vizuri so that you don't look like you have any blemishes, but in the real sense, ukitoa hiyo makeup, kuna blemish. What we always want to show to the world will be different to who we really are, because there's what we want to portray, the perfection side. And so the pressure can be real. Si ati ni mbaya, ni vile we are living in this world and it has come to with the social media imeongeza. But I think I can start from here that as individuals, we are likely to change our behavior according to the environment that we find ourselves in. If you find yourself in an environment, this is part of a theory called social influence theory. Ukijipata kwa environment or kwa watu wenye they have achieved so much in life, you'll find yourself changing your behavior. You'll find yourself changing your thoughts and your attitudes towards that group of people so that you can fit in. I can see Zach, you're fine. I can see Quitter. Oh my, just checked in. Thank you for joining. So yeah, as I was saying, individuals are likely to change their behavior depending on the environment you are. If you're a student and mabeshti wako hawasomi, wanaendanga tu out, you're likely to change that behavior because of the environment you're finding yourself in. If you have friends, there's someone that is famous, anasemanga sijui, if your 5 friends are entrepreneurs, then you'll be the 6th entrepreneur. And so the environment we find ourselves in influences our behavior, influences our choices. It's part of the social influence theory. And so as I began asking, and you can feel free to type in as I type in the question, are there instances where you felt the need to change? Because of your environment, because of society. We can type in our answers as I continue. Are there instances where you felt the need to change because of society or because of where you are? The way you dress. Has the way you dress been influenced? The kind of job that you have. Ile job uko nayo. Is it because you really want to, or is it because it matches with the kind of people you have in your family or your friends? The person you choose to be in a relationship with, is it because you want to, or is it because of the environment that you are? Is it because of the groups that you associate? Kama mabeshto wako wameendea watu wako na pesa, are you also looking for someone with money? Kama wako na light skins, are you also looking for a light skin? So individuals change their behavior according to the environment they find themselves in. I can see Anita be there. Thank you for joining us. So as individuals, we are always geared towards going to the ideal self. The ideal self, as I can try to explain it, it's the self where how you really want to be instead of who you really are. The ideal self is equals to perfection. And so in the pictures that you post, you want them to be perfect. The way you talk, you want it to be perfect. The way you dress, you want it to be perfect. What we forget is that perfection is unattainable. It cannot be attained. And so we live in a world, we live life comparing and then getting into despair. We compare ourselves so much, wanting to be perfect, wanting the ideal self, and yet when we know we cannot really achieve it, we despair. We feel very dissatisfied with ourselves. We begin to hate ourselves. We begin to not accept who we really are because of social media. There's a study that was done and that was published in the American Journal of Epidemiology. And I was saying there was a study that was done, and the study said that most people use the regular use of social media, especially Facebook, has contributed so much to depression, especially among girls, because we really want to compare ourselves. We want to see life. People achieve things in life and then they post them, which is okay. Social media came with its good points and bad points, and it is really okay. And so the study was saying the level of dissatisfaction among ladies compared to men was high because of the comparing in social media, comparing yourselves to your peers. I'm a graduate, after graduation, job after job, boyfriend after boyfriend, marriage, kids. And so yes, anaweza kosa kuiweka like, but inakuja in form of baby shower photos, bridal shower photos, graduation photos. And the study was saying compared to girls, when you compare boys to girls, the girls were really affected by it. And we can see how social media has really impacted, especially with societal pressures, because right now we are living in the digital age where people are really putting their lives out there on social media, especially during this time of COVID. We are also doing talks and an activity like this one, an interaction like this one on Facebook Live. Because of where we've reached, technology has become good enough for us to reach so many people with minimum movement. So, and that is a good thing, but there's the downside of it, because now we are feeling overwhelmed when we find our friends achieving and getting to where they want to get in life quickly, maybe quickly than we are as individuals. And so we begin to look for ways how we can achieve this. And sometimes it can be negative. But before we go there, I think it's important, even as we are living in society, to always remember what age you are. I was thinking about this and I was telling myself, for someone as young as 18 years, sorry, let me repeat the question again, because there was a time I had interrupted the video. So are there instances where you behavior because of society? Before I continue, I can see Quita said, hello there. Oh yes, there's a time where I felt like I am not doing enough for myself financially. So I decided to venture into entrepreneurial activities since I could not find myself going to zero after being dismissed from work. So I can say that I am nowhere I have always wanted to be, but I'm loving the new me and the progress is paying up. Thanks to my daily mantra, fake it till you make it. God bless. Thank you, Quitting. She has also posted and said, so relatable, Ushagona pressure same WhatsApp, especially on behaving well and dressing well. Yeah, those are some instances I can hear. Jolie has said, yes, I have, sometimes dressing up in a long and very decent dress, nikienda Ocha because of the Oshago setup. And so, yeah, as I said before, individuals are likely to change their behavior because of the environment they find themselves in. Like, thank you, Jolie, for that very good example you've given. And that sometimes you can dress up, yeah, in long and very decent dresses ukienda Ocha because unaenda Ocha and kuna wazazi, kuna maanko na mashosho na maguka, and so you're supposed to like look decent enough when you present yourself to them. Kuta has said that there was a time that she felt like she was not doing enough for herself financially, and she decided to venture into entrepreneurial activities where she could at least get something to do. And yes, she was not loving where she was, but she used to tell herself she's going to fake it until she makes it. Thank you so much. And then Ushagona pressure same WhatsApp. Okay, fine. So as I was saying, when it comes to society and how we live in it, it is important to remember your age. And this is what I mean. If you're a 20-year-old, I mean, you are fresh from high school. Or, no, sorry. 20-year-old is someone who is in campus, yeah? Either you are about to graduate, maybe it was a short course, a diploma, etc. Or you're still in campus and you're about to graduate, yeah, you're still studying and in 2 years' time you'll graduate. So I that is your time to really enjoy being young, that is a time to make new friends and have good foundations in life. And sometimes I stand to be corrected, but I think it's important for us to remember our age groups, just for us to maintain positive mental health, because how would a 20-year-old want to have built a house and bought a car and have married, etc., and yet ideally you're beginning life. So the pressure can come in, especially you find your friends, maybe from those in the well-up families. Um, Labda how as soon as they finish high school, they are given work to do, they're given cars, they're given, and that is okay because they have found themselves in that environment, and you find people achieving too much because of where they come from. But for you who does not have the privilege for at that time, the pressure to to attain these things, I think should come to a point of self-drive than comparing with other people, because comparison will start bringing desperation, and we can begin to do things that are not friendly to who we really are. Like we can begin to get into business deals that will make us suffer and have premium tiers, or we can begin to enter into relationships that we really don't want to, but because you want the money, because you want the status, because you want the fame, you find yourself there. So it is important for us to really remember our age. If you're at 20, I think, and it is good to live your age, because I really do not expect us to live life as though we are 60 years old, and yet I'm barely 30. I am not expected to live life like a 60-year-old, and I'm just about to turn third floor. So I think it's important for us to remember who we really are and our age and where we are coming from. So in as we look at the social influence theory, there are reasons as to why we choose to change our behavior because of the environment we find ourselves in. And there are three reasons as to why. There are three aspects in this situation, in this subject called social influence. One is conformity. And I can explain it. To not change our behavior, we change our behavior so that we can fit in, we can conform with the group that we are in. For example, let's assume mostly in maybe in campus or even in high school or in primary school, for those who have younger brothers and sisters, you'll find they'll want a particular pair of shoe just because marafiki wake wako nayo pia. Even you as a lady, if your friends wameshuka a particular style, or it is common, it's on fashion, you want to also do the same. You want to conform so that you can fit in, you can feel like you belong. That is one reason as to why we conform, ama we let the pressure get to us, because we want to fit in, we want to conform. Another reason is because we want to comply. Compliance means you are requested to do something by someone who is not necessarily someone of authority, just someone else, like a friend. Please do me a favor, and yet at your time labda you're not in a position to, but you just find yourself doing it because ideally it's the right thing to do, whether or not uko in a position to do that. And there's also obedience. Now obedience is it's similar but slightly different from compliance. Here is where you do what you're requested to do, but it's not a request really, it's a command. So these are reasons as to why we find ourselves letting the pressure get to us, either to fit in to a particular group of people so that we can feel like we belong. either to comply, to do something because you are in this particular group. Like you can decide to follow an idea of someone. Let's say you're friends now, or you are a group of friends of 5 people, and this friend of yours is someone who has quote unquote achieved more than you have. Wameomoka. And so akisema kitu like when you're deciding to do maybe an activity as a group, maybe mnataka kwenda kukula kinywaji mahali, ama akitoa tu comment mkiwa as a group, you find yourselves doing as they say, because wamefika mahali wewe unataka. So you find yourself getting into that pressure of being like they are, ama unajiambia if I do this and this, I will get to where this and this person is. So you comply, and then there is obedience, and it can be negative because you'll find yourself obeying an authority akikwambia ufanye kitu, and yet it's not the right thing to do, but just because the person is of a higher authority than you, you'll find yourself doing it bila wewe kujua. Like for example, your boss can tell you to do something that's illegal, na wewe unajua clearly it's illegal, and if you really look into yourself, it will not sit right with you. You will not feel okay doing it, but you find yourself doing it. So these are aspects in social influence. These are reasons as to why we find ourselves get in positions where society to pressure, either to fit in, either because of authority figures in our lives, ama influential people in our lives who do and say things that we pick up and we run with it regardless of what we think ourselves independently. And so societal pressures zinakuja in 3 forms. There is the biological, psychological, and social. Nitazi break down into examples. For biological, that's now the physical aspect. We want to look a certain way, we want to dress a certain way, we want to weigh a certain way. So tuna lose weight, ama tuna add extra weight, tuna dress vingine, and yet you don't even have money, but heri ukope lakini uweke hiyo wig. Unapaka makeup, and maybe it's going south for you, but just because this one does it, I have to do it. Even in our workplace unapata like it's mandatory, and that's okay. I'm not sure, because you have to present a look for the company, for the brand. So that's the biological. Or even eating a certain way, like unajifanya like you cannot eat junk food just because your new boyfriend does not eat junk, aba amesema ni mbaya, and yet you do eat junk, and junk is not bad, it's the excess consumption of it that's bad. Okay, let's go to the psychological aspect of the societal pressures, and this is something really interesting and nilipatana nayo. You'll find in the 2 temperaments that you have, extroversion and introversion. You will find introverts are wanting to be extroverts because they are told to be more open. Wewe kwa nini unanyamaza? Statements kwa nini unanyamaza hivyo sana? Kwa nini hauongeangi na watu? Why you so, and so the introvert will feel pressured to be like an extrovert. And so hizo ana fake because that is not who you really are. Who you are is someone who is just calm, collected, and yes, you can rise up to the occasion, but it's not who you really are. And so the psychological aspect of it is that There is also now the social. We want to choose this certain friends. We want to be associated with this organization, with this church, because in Ajulikana we want to talk a certain way so that we can. And so these are um, aspects of social pressures. Now, if you break them in the biological, psychological, and social aspect. And so now, as we continue, I think I can ask this question: how has societal pressures affected our mental health? As we continue, feel free, guys, to type in your comment of how societal pressure has affected our mental health, because as I said earlier, it goes from who our true self to our ideal self, to achieve perfection, which is unattainable, and then now we get to desperation. So that's the cycle. There is our true self. This is who Grace really is. There is the ideal self. This is who Grace should be. Especially now, we can come to this interesting aspect of life as a young person. Like, it's like there are written standard rules of living. Like, after you're done with primary, you go to high school, you go to campus, you get a job. After a job, you're told now it's time to get married. After you get married, you're told now it's time to have children. After that, now it's time to take them to school, yeah, etc., and then build a house, no, buy a land, and then build a house, and then now, yeah, get old and die. So kuna hiyo laid out system. And so if you are one of the person who is taking too long to achieve that, like now perhaps you are done with school, you now have a job, and so now you are expected to get married. And so whatever goals in between you have, they don't really make sense, because now the next thing we want to see is you having a family. And that is okay. But what's the downside of it? Because social influence can either be positive, it can be neutral, or it can be negative. And I'll give an example. As I said, you can find you're a person and you're in a group of people who dress in a certain kind of way, and so you really want to also buy that pair of shoe you found your friends with. And the positive is that you will have a new pair of shoe. It will, when you wear it, you will feel good about yourself. Good. The neutral side is, you're buying a shoe, so that's okay. But now the negative side of it is this: what if what you do to get the shoe harms someone else? Like, you decide to take a loan that honestly does not really make sense. To take a loan to buy a shoe that is expensive, and yet you have other loans that you're still servicing just because you want to fit in. Or for children in school, you decide to bully someone into buying you that shoe while you're in school. Or you decide to steal so that you can have that shoe. So it can either be positive, neutral, or negative. And so, as I have asked in the comment section, how has societal pressure affected our mental health? So one of the ways is that if we find that we cannot conform to the influence, to the pressure, sometimes we will begin now to withdraw from our family and our friends. This is what I mean. If in your circle of friends you find how you're the only one without a job, utaanza kujitenga pole pole, because if they are, now they have money, so they will want to hang out more often, because now they can afford to go to a restaurant, to go for a road trip, to go for a hike, na wewe hauwezi, na hautaki kukaa mzigo, hautaki kukaa like you are the only one being, done for things, ama just come, you don't have to contribute, but still hauna your confidence, so you begin to isolate yourself from your friends and your family, kwa sababu una feel like I don't fit in anymore. I'm not part of you guys because I don't have what you have. So there is that period of isolation, you withdraw and you feel lonely, and it affects our mental health because now our esteem now goes low. We begin to move further away from self-acceptance, and we begin to lose focus because now your mind will only be focused on, I don't have this and this like these people, instead of just living your own life and realizing that this is the path that I'm in, this is where I am right now. What can I do to achieve 1, 2, 3 according to what I really want, not because of what my friends have, but according to what I really want. Okay, I do not want to dispute the fact that having positive relationships around us can be a really good motivator of what we become in future. As I said, if your friends are entrepreneurs, you'll be the next one. If your friends are addicts, you'll be the next one, because that is the environment you find yourself in. And that is why I said individuals will change their behavior according to the environment they find themselves in. And so coming back to the effect, so you will isolate yourself, you will withdraw, and you will move further from self-acceptance. And so whatever you'll do will not come from what I really want. It will come from, I need to achieve this so that my friends can accept who I am, instead of wanting to achieve because this is who I am, these are my goals, this is what I want to achieve in life, etc. This is what I want, where to find myself in. And so that is one effect of how our mental health can be affected. We lose our confidence in ourselves, our sense of self, how we look at ourselves changes. Our confidence goes down. We begin to not love ourselves. We begin to hate who we really are. We begin to have the complex, inferiority complex, not loving. We begin now to shrink ourselves, and we are no longer confident. We begin to second guess everything that we do. We begin to judge and be critical on ourselves so much, to a point where now it affects how we think, and hence our behavior changes. And so now as we continue doing that, we can result into behaviors that are negative, so that we can now cope, because now you no longer feel confident of who you are, you no longer feel happy with yourself, because you have not achieved, haujafika mahali people are telling you that you should, haujafika mahali you're not yet married, you're not yet, and so you find yourself getting to a disparate point of just getting involved with anyone that comes your way without really getting to know them, without really getting to understand who they are as a person. And so our life decisions and choices are influenced negatively. They are contaminated because now we feel I'm getting married. I really don't care who I am getting married. I'll call all of you to my bridal shower, to my wedding reception, etc. And at the end of the day, you find yourself with the wrong person, because um, the idea was to get married. The idea was not to get married with to who you are really comfortable with, to who you feel is the right person for you. And so across the way, you find we lose ourselves, and we are at risk of developing depression, and also anxiety comes in, because now in a situation where you're in a family of people who have really achieved in life, and there are family meetings that are called, and we are not we cannot say that we are angels. As human beings, that's how you can feel, especially if you're the only one, or you're among the few who have not maybe gone to school as the rest, don't have jobs like the rest, who are still unmarried. And you'll find you begin to have social anxiety. You begin to develop anxiety, you're anxious, and goes back to the withdrawing, and so now you become at risk of developing depression. And so at the end of the day, you find our mental health is really affected. And so as we wind up, and I encourage, and if you have any question or comment, please you can type in as we finish up the interaction. So the pressure in our society can be good, but it is up to us to remain grounded and to come back to ourselves and really remember who we are. We come back to ourselves and really do things according to what we feel is right for us. Yes, the company that you have, if your friends are good ones and they're able to help you get to where you are, good for you. But remember that you are the most important person in your life, and so you know what is right for you. If this friend, this mentor that you admire so much, does something and you're not happy with, you do not have to conform. We are allowed to have opinions, we are allowed to be different, as long as we are remaining true to ourselves, and as long as we are not harming anyone, either with our comments or physically. And so it's important for us to remember that yes, we are living in our society, yes, we have families, yes, we have our jobs, we have organizations, institutions we are part of, but there's who you really are, and remember to stick to that, so that we can, even as we grow, our focus is, the motivation is positive and not negative. And as Quentin said, yes, at first, or where you are right now, at the moment, you're not where you want to see yourself. But as long as you are making progress towards getting to where you want, that is the most important thing. And the progress is something that you are seeing growth with. You're moving forward, you're not stuck, you're moving forward. If you need help, you ask for it to the right people. If you don't have the right people, that is why there are psychologists, there are mental health professionals who can really help you to get to where you really want to be. And so let us remember, there is no one time you will ever attain perfection. Let us remember we are different, and we are not to achieve the same things at the same time. Let us remember that this is life. Things change. Nothing is permanent. And so one time you'll find yourself jobless. The other time, as long as you're knocking the right doors, you'll find yourself with a job. Let us remember to make the choices that are okay for us and that we know are good for us. And as we do that, I am sure that the pressure of society will not get to us. So I will welcome any comment. I will welcome any question in case any one of us has anything to say. I've really enjoyed this session today with the interaction. I've enjoyed the comment. The topic is really good. I think the conversation needs to keep going because as we grow old, even as older adults, there is societal pressure. You find your friends, you're in your 50s and all your friends have bought land, or your friends have built houses, and wewe bado haujafanya hivyo. And so this pressure does not only affect the young people or adolescents, it also goes ahead to our parents, the older generation, because there are laid out rules according to society on how and when you should have achieved your goals. And so this is what I can say. If in your 20s you find yourself having bought a piece of land and built, well and good. If you do it in your 40s, well and good. If you do it in your 50s, well and good. But just remember to always come back to who you really are, asking yourself the right questions. Why am I doing this? What is my motivation? Is it because of my friends, or is it because I really want this? How will I get the money to do this? Will I rob a bank, or will I work hard? Will I be kind to myself? Will I be patient with myself? Will I appreciate the milestones that I have achieved so far? Will I be my own cheerleader? Will I be my greatest critic? Will I wait for criticism from others? Will I turn a deaf ear to comments and opinions that are really bringing me down, especially from friends and family? And so I can see Zach has commented and you have said that this was a great learning session and you will surely implement what you've learned today. Thank you, Zach. I would like to welcome any other last comment or question from any of you who are watching us live right now. As you comment or ask, we are Nzumari Africa, passionate about mental health. We offer free psychological counseling services. So feel free to check us up on our social media handles. Feel free to reach out to us to give you the kind of help that you need. We are here for you. You are not alone. You are the most important person in your life. You are enough. You've always been enough. It is okay not to be okay. And remember, in our Mental Health Awareness Month, the theme is Tools to Thrive. And so develop new tools, coping skills for you to thrive in life, and learn the ones that you know are negative, and look forward to always improving your mental health and to build resilience regardless of the situation you find yourself in. So there being no more comments or question, I think I can end my live video here. It has been awesome being with you guys once again. Looking forward to interacting with you in another platform. Tomorrow we will be having a Facebook Live also on the positive effects of mental of a societal pressure, because as I said, there are positive, there are negative, and there are neutral effects. And so we will be looking at the positive effects, because societal pressure si lazima ikuwe kitu mbaya. It can also be a good thing. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. We shall give you more information on our social media handles. So thank you guys. Have a lovely evening.